Chapter 1. In the beginning God created heaven and earth. 2. And the earth was void and empty, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved over the waters. 3. And God said, Be light made. And light was made. 4. And God saw the light that it was good, and he divided the light from the darkness. 5. And he called the light day, and the darkness night, and there was evening and morning one day. 6. And God said, Let there be a firmament made amidst the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. 7. And God made a firmament, and divided the waters that were under the firmament from those that were above the firmament, and it was so. 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and morning were the second day. 9. God also said, Let the waters that are under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so done. 10. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. 11. And said, Let the earth bring forth green herb, and such as may seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, which may have seed in itself upon the earth. And it was so done. 12. And the earth brought forth the green herb, and such as yieldeth seed according to its kind, and the tree that beareth fruit, having seed each one according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day. 14. And God said, Let there be lights made in the firmament of heaven to divide the day and the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. 15. To shine in the firmament of heaven, and to give light upon the earth. And it was so done. 16. And God made two great lights, a greater light to rule the day, and a lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. 17. And set them in the firmament of heaven to shine upon the earth. 18. And to rule the day and the night, and to divide the light and the darkness. And God saw that it was good. 19. And the evening and morning were the fourth day. 20. God also said, Let the waters bring forth the creeping creature having life, and the fowl that may fly over the earth under the firmament of heaven. 21. And God created the great whales, and every living and moving creature which the waters brought forth, according to their kinds, and every winged fowl according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. 22. And he blessed them, saying, Increase and multiply, and fill the waters of the sea, and let the birds be multiplied upon the earth. 23. And the evening and morning were the fifth day. 24. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creature in its kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth, according to their kinds. And it was so done. 25. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and cattle, and everything that creepeth on the earth after its kind. And God saw that it was good. 26. And said, Let us make man to our image and likeness, and let him have dominion over the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of the air, and the beasts, and the whole earth, and every creeping creature that moveth upon the earth. 27. And God created man to his own image. To the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. 28. And God blessed them, saying, Increase and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of the air, and all living creatures that move upon the earth. 29. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed upon the earth, and all trees that have in themselves seed of their own kind, to be your meat. 30. And to all beasts of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to all that move upon the earth, and wherein there is life, that they may have to feed upon. And it was so done. 31. And God saw all the things that he had made, and they were very good. And the evening and morning were the sixth day. Chapter 2. So the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the furniture of them. 2. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. 3. And he blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. For these are the generations of the heaven and the earth, when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the heaven and the earth. 5. And every plant of the field before it sprung up in the earth, and every herb of the ground before it grew, For the Lord God had not rained upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the earth. 6. But a spring rose out of the earth, watering all the surface of the earth. 7. And the Lord God formed man of the slime of the earth, and breathed into his face the breath of life, and man became a living soul. 8. And the Lord God had planted a paradise of pleasure from the beginning, wherein he placed man whom he had formed. 9. And the Lord God brought forth of the ground all manner of trees, fair to behold, and pleasant to eat of. The tree of life also in the midst of paradise, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. 10. And a river went out of the place of pleasure to water paradise, which from thence is divided into 4 heads. 11. The name of the one is Physon. That is it which compasseth all the land of Heveleth, where gold groweth. 12. And the gold of that land is very good. There is found bdellium, and the onyx stone. 13. And name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth all the land of Ethiopia. 14. And the name of the third river is Tigris. The same passeth along by the Assyrians. And the fourth river is Euphrates. 15. And the Lord God took man, and put him into the paradise of pleasure, to dress it, and to keep it. 16. And he commanded him, saying, Of every tree of paradise thou shalt eat. 17. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat. For in what day soever thou shalt eat of it, thou shalt die the death. 18. And the Lord God said, It is not good for man to be alone. Let us make him a help like unto himself. 19. And the Lord God having formed out of the ground all the beasts of the earth, and all the fowls of the air, brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. For whatsoever Adam called any living creature, the same is its name. 20. And Adam called all the beasts by their names, and all the fowls of the air, and all the cattle of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper like himself. 21. Then the Lord God cast a deep sleep upon Adam, and when he was fast asleep, he took one of his ribs, and filled up flesh for it. 22. And the Lord God built the rib which he took from Adam into a woman, and brought her to Adam. 23. And Adam said, This now is bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. 24. Wherefore a man shall leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall be two in one flesh. 25. And they were both naked, to wit, Adam and his wife, and were not ashamed. Chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any of the beasts of the earth which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Why hath God commanded you that you should not eat of every tree of paradise? 2. And the woman answered him, saying, Of the fruit of the trees that are in paradise we do eat. 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of paradise God hath commanded us that we should not eat, and that we should not touch it, lest perhaps we die. 4. And the serpent said to the woman, No, you shall not die the death. 5. For God doth know that in what day soever you shall eat thereof, your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. 6. And the woman saw that the tree was good to eat, and fair to the eyes, and delightful to behold. And she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave to her husband, who did eat. 7. And the eyes of them both were opened, and when they perceived themselves to be naked, they sewed together fig leaves, and made themselves aprons. 8. And when they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in paradise at the afternoon air, Adam and his wife hid themselves from the face of the Lord God, amidst the trees of paradise. 9. And the Lord God called Adam, and said to him, Where art thou? 10. And he said, I heard thy voice in paradise, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. 11. And he said to him, And who hath told thee that thou wast naked, but that thou hast eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldst not eat? And Adam said, The woman whom thou gavest me to be my companion gave me of the tree, and I did eat. 13. And the Lord said to the woman, Why hast thou done this? And she answered, The serpent deceived me, and I did eat. 14. And the Lord God said to the serpent, Because thou hast done this thing, thou art cursed among all cattle and beasts of the earth. Upon thy breast shalt thou go, and earth shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. 15 I will put enmities between thee and the woman, and thy seed and her seed. She shall crush thy head, and thou shalt lie in wait for her heel. 16 To the woman also he said, I will multiply thy sorrows and thy conceptions. In sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thou shalt be under thy husband's power, and he shall have dominion over thee. 17 And to Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened to the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee, that thou shouldst not eat, cursed is the earth in thy work. With labor and toil shalt thou eat thereof all the days of thy life. 18 Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herbs of the earth. 19 In the sweet of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return to the earth out of which thou wast taken. For dust thou art, and into dust thou shalt return. 20 And Adam called the name of his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all the living. 21 And the Lord God made for Adam and his wife garments of skins, and clothed them. 22 And he said, behold, Adam is become as one of us, knowing good and evil. Now therefore, lest perhaps he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Chapter 4 And Adam knew Eve his wife, who conceived and brought forth Cain, saying, I have gotten a man through God. 2 And again she brought forth his brother Abel. And Abel was a shepherd, and Cain a husbandman. 3 And it came to pass after many days, that Cain offered of the fruits of the earth gifts to the Lord, for Abel also offered of the firstlings of his flock, and of their fat. And the Lord had respect to Abel, and to his offerings. 5 But to Cain and his offerings he had no respect. And Cain was exceeding angry, and his countenance fell. 6 And the Lord said to him, why art thou angry? And why is thy countenance fallen? 7 If thou do well, shalt thou not receive? But if ill, shall not sin forthwith be present at the door? But the lust thereof shall be under thee, and thou shalt have dominion over it. 8 And Cain said to Abel his brother, let us go forth abroad. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel, and slew him. 9 And the Lord said to Cain, where is thy brother Abel? And he answered, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? 10 And he said to him, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth to me from the earth. 11 Now therefore cursed shalt thou be upon the earth, which hath opened her mouth and received the blood of thy brother at thy hand. 12 When thou shalt till it, it shall not yield to thee its fruit. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be upon the earth. 13 And Cain said to the Lord, my iniquity is greater than that I may deserve pardon. 14 Behold, thou dost cast me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face I shall be hid, and I shall be a vagabond and a fugitive on the earth. Every one therefore that findeth me shall kill me. 15 And the Lord said to him, no, it shall not so be. But whosoever shall kill Cain shall be punished sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, that whosoever found him should not kill him. 16 And Cain went out from the face of the Lord, and dwelt as a fugitive on the earth at the east side of Eden. 17 And Cain his wife, and she conceived, and brought forth Enoch. And he built a city, and called the name thereof by the name of his son Enoch. 18 And Enoch begot Irad, and Irad begot Maviel, and Maviel begot Mathusel, and Mathusel begot Lamech. 19 Who took 2 wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. 20 And Ada bare out forth Jabal, who was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of herdsmen. 21 And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of them that play upon the harp and the organs. 22 Selu also brought forth Tubal-Cain, who was a hammerer and artificer in every work of brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Noma. 23 And Lamech said to his wives Ada and Selah, hear my voice, you wives of Lamech, hearken to my speech. For I have slain a man to the wounding of myself, and a stripling to my own bruising. 24 Sevenfold vengeance shall be taken for Cain. But for Lamech 70 times sevenfold 25 Adam also knew his wife again. And she brought forth a son, and called his name Seth, saying, God hath given me another seed for Abel, whom Cain slew. 26 But to Seth also was born a son, whom he called Enos. This man began to call upon the name of the Lord.